Welcome back, my friends. Today we are going to go over the Sartorius GD503 scale that I use, and I'm so happy I made the switch. This scale, along with the RCBS Uniflow Powder Measure 3 and the Dandy Trickler, is the best combination I have ever used. And of course, I have used many other scales over the years, and I am going to let you in on a little known fact. This combination is way more accurate than any of the powder throwing systems that are out there, like the Auto Trickler, the RCBS, and Hornady systems and such. I will be making future videos on the RCBS Uniflow Powder Measure 3 and the Dandy Trickler soon. I have posted the manual and codes for this scale on my website, hitthexreloads.com/file downloads. You would think it would take way longer to manually dispense powder from the RCBS powder thrower and then put it on a scale and manually trickle curls in it with the Dandy Trickler. Not. It does take a little bit longer, but the accuracy and repeatability make it the only choice now. And I would never go back to automatic systems. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications, and leave a like. Man, that was a mouthful. Of course, I was reading from a script, and you can see I didn't do too good. Anyway, let's talk about this. Okay, I'm going to try to show you the scale that I use, which is this Sartorius GD503. This is the best scale I've ever owned for what we're doing, powder measurement. Now it has 3 sliding doors, one on each side, and then it has one on top. Okay, I used the Dandy Trickler, so when I first got it, I was coming in through the side, so I made holes in the glass through the side, but now I come in from the back, so I made a hole back here. And you can find out how to do that on YouTube. It's real easy to drill holes in glass with a diamond grit encrusted bit, and you'll find that on YouTube. I'm not going to go through that now because I don't need to drill another hole. Now the next thing, if you happen to find one of these brand new, you know, they don't make them anymore, but if you happen to find them brand new, you have to change a switch on them, because it comes from the factory in what's called legal for trade mode. I don't know, it has something to do with jewelers and weighing and this and that for commercial use. You have to change that because it only weighs in grams and in carats when it comes from the factory. So you have to change a switch on this, which is on the bottom. And there's also a video for that on YouTube. I'm doubting, however, that you're going to find one, you know, brand new. I was lucky. I found this used on eBay after watching a video I saw on YouTube about this scale. I immediately had to go out and get it. And I'm going to show you why my way of weighing powder is the best way, and even better than all the automatic reloaders and everything I talked about in the introduction. It doesn't take that much longer. It's more precise, and your SDs and ESs are going to level out because you're getting the same load all the time. So right now, because this is a sensitive machine, you don't want to be lifting this up and putting it somewhere else all the time and that. And also, you have to have it plugged in and powered on for at least 30 minutes because that's just the way these scales work. Their innards and their circuitry and all that has to warm up in order to give you accurate results. So I leave mine on all the time. And I happen to get this, I don't know, it's like a 1 foot square piece of tile on a job site one day from the tile guys, and it worked perfect. And I got a little layer of foam glued to the bottom of it, about a 1/4 inch thick. And I leave it on all the time, and all I do is just gently slide it out of the way all the time. It gets out of my way, and it's on all the time. Okay? So I don't have to worry about turning it on, waiting for it to warm up, and calibrating it, and so forth. In the back, behind here, you can see where my fingers are. There's a bubble level, and there's 2 legs on the side. You got to get it level, too, also. You want accurate readings, so take care. Once you get it set up, it's good. Because when I slide it over here, I have this spot marked. I slide it back to this exact same spot, and it's always level. So these are things to think of beforehand to get it set up for use. The first thing I do is calibrate the scale. Now I've got the scale set up right now in grains. Using the F button, I can change it from grains to grams. So I'm going to want to set it in grams because the weight you're going to be using for this is 100 grams. I put on a pair of latex gloves, and here's the weight. And the reason for the latex gloves is because you don't want any of your body oils or dirt on your finger or whatever getting on this calibration weight, because that's how good this thing is. It can send it off. So to calibrate it, open the side door, press in on this 0 button on the right. Okay, now it's in calibration mode. You see it says 100 grams. So I put the weight on there. And it'll beep telling me, okay, it's calibrated. So I take the weight off, put it back in its container, blah, 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 blah. And it goes back to 0. So now I'll hit the F button again to get it back into grains. So we're calibrated. You don't have to do this every time, depending on how much you move it around. But what did that take, a minute? So of course I do it every time. Now, you have to calibrate the weight of your cup that you're going to be using to put powder in. So you just put that in and let it figure it out. You'll see when this grain thing comes up there, that means it's done. So now what you want to do is you want to zero it out to your powder cup. So just hit 0. All right, now we're ready to start. So the first thing I do is take a cup full of powder. Doesn't have to be measured or anything, and I fill up my dandy trickler like with 2 cups of it. That'll be good enough for like 100 rounds or more. And then I put my cup under there. And I'm going to make a video on this dandy trickler too, so don't worry about that. And I just hit the red button until I get powder coming out. It has to get all the way down the tube first. Alright, there we go. I'll get it till I get a nice stream of powder in there. Okay, we're good. Then I hit the slow button and you see it's going up. So then I'll take that and I'll just pour it back in the dandy trickler. Then I take another cup of powder And I pour it in this glass bowl I got. Because there'll be times, and you'll see as I'm doing this, where I'm so close to where I want to get, but I know I can get not a full kernel in, but a very small piece. And I use a piece of tweezers, and I put that small piece in. Let me show you something here. Okay, we're at 0. I'm going to take a real little small piece and drop it in there. So that was 1/100th of a grain. When I'm close to that area, that's what I do. Now let it settle every time. Don't go extremely fast because this is a sensitive thing. It has to balance out, do its electronics thing and all that. Now we're back to 0 grains. So I'm also going to make a separate video on this RCBS powder thrower. That'll be coming up. But right now I'm going to set up to show you how I load and how fast it is. Now here's something else I can tell you. Do not have any exhaust fans, your air conditioning or heating ducts going. Close them down if you can, turn them off if you can. You want to keep the smallest amount of air movement, pretty much none. Just the air movement of your body, because it will throw off a good scale, and that's why it's so important. You want to use a good scale, but you don't want to throw it off. Now, I could leave this here for days, and it'll be set on 0. It has no drift. But if I turn on my fan or something like that, you'll see it start drifting. You do not want that. So first, and I have this powder thrower set already to what I'm going for. I'm going for 28.8 grains. So I've got it set to throw just a little less than that. So we're at 28.345 grains now. So that's 345 thousandths of a grain. This has an accuracy of plus or minus 5 1,000ths of a grain. This is what's great about it. Now I'm going to change to a more zoomed in position and show you how I do this. We say 28.345 grains now. So with this dandy trickler, I'm going to use this yellow button. There are 2 buttons, yellow and red. Red is fast, yellow is slow. And I'm going to start trickling in. And you can see the scale going up. Okay, I want to be at 28.8, so I'm going to give her a little fast one. All right, now I'm at 28.755. Now, these grains are usually 0.02, so I'll go slowly. 775. I know I can get one more in. So there I am, exactly at 28.800. That was my target. Let's do it again. Show you how fast this is. From the time I pick up the cup, pour in my powder. All right, I'm at 28.33. I could actually increase this powder thrower a little bit. And there I went over because I used the fast button too much. So let's show you again. Start. Put it in. 28.0. That is way low. I do need to. Okay. 28.42. We're going to watch it rise. 28.74. 28.800 again. One more time. Go. Boy, I have this thing set low. 28.965. I got to get it up pretty good here now. All right, 28.43. 715, 765. I know I can get another one in. $28.785. This one I come to a lot. Now this one, if I can find a really small piece, here we go. I'll drop her in, 790, 795, 28.80 and 5/1000. That's good. And that, my friends, is how it works. And I have my loading block here in my funnel. And I'm going to tell you about this funnel later too. I'm going to make a separate video on all these components so you can see how they all work together. But that, when I was using my auto trickler, now let me explain here about the auto trickler. The auto trickler only goes in 2 decimal points, okay? So that means it only goes in the 100th of a grain. But the thing is, if it says 0.02, the next thing it's going to jump to is not going to be 0.03. It's going to jump to 0.04. So that's 2/100ths of a grain, which do make a difference if you want to get the best you can. So if it's saying 0.2, no, let's say it's saying 0.02. That could be 0.02, 0.021, 0.023, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 0.03.9 before it jumps to 0.04. So that is a wide discrepancy in between there. You don't want that. This gets you as close as you possibly can. And through my experience, I don't need to go no more than 1/1000th of a grain. I'm sure there's scales out there that go to 1/10,000th of a grain, but that's just way, way, way overkill. This will put your SDs and your ESs tighter together. I guarantee it. And that's what we're after. The best possible solutions we can get. So stay tuned for my other videos. I'll probably make one on the Dandy Trickler next, then the powder thrower, and then this funnel. And I don't need to make one on this cup, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is the best cup I've ever had. It's made by Area 419, and this handle here used to be straight out, but it was kind of really uncomfortable to be putting it, so I just bent it. I put it in something, probably a vise or whatever, and bent it up so it has that tab on it, which is easier to go in and grab. And plus, I can close the door if I wanted to. Say if I really had to have my exhaust fan running or something, I could close the door. But I don't do that. So I probably didn't need to bend it, but I did, and I like it that way. So I'll see you on the next videos. And if you found this helpful, oh, let me not forget, I did post the manual for this Sartorius GD503 and a book that is about the settings and how to configure what you want to weigh in and all that, because you'll have to enter codes. I mean, setup is setup, like anything. You get a computer, you got to set it up. So anyways, if you found this interesting and helpful, please subscribe and hit the button for all notifications and leave a like. And there's also that Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below the video where you could help me out even more, because so far I don't have enough to get anything from YouTube, and that's not going to be much anyways. So help me out, and I'll see you in the next video.